Join us on our 10-day trip to Japan, where we soak in the sights, the food, the drink, and the culture. We quickly packed our bags and headed towards the train station. We'd been planning a trip to Japan for the last 5 years with unsuccessful attempts. My sister Rosie and her fiance Tom kindly picked us up and took us to Heathrow. Tired and hungry, we arrived in our first hotel in Tokyo. We picked up some snacks from the family mart downstairs to fuel us for tomorrow. We made our way to the Shibuya crossing. At first we didn't quite realise it was Shibuya crossing and ended up crossing multiple times before our final crossing for the video. The shrine was fantastic. With beautiful buildings, we soaked in the landmarks and the nature around us, discussing our favourite bits of what we had seen of Tokyo so far. We headed back to Shinjuku to explore a little bit more before our food tour later on in the day. We headed back to Shinjuku to meet up with our food tour. You're a cameraman. I'm James.
Carlo. What's your name?
Carlo. Where are you from?
United States. Boston.
Boston. Nice. Our first stop was a sushi restaurant where we tried different bits of sushi and sashimi. The food was absolutely incredible, and we finished it off with a glass of sake. With our bellies full, we headed back into Shinjuku for the next restaurant. Earlier in the year, we secured tickets to one of the big sumo competitions. We made our way to the venue and watched the sumo wrestlers enter. We explored the sumo museum before sitting down for a bowl of chanko nabe, a traditional sumo food. The sumo was very exciting to watch, and it was a lifelong ambition to finally get to see it. Afterwards, we tucked into a Japanese McDonald's to see what it was about. One of my favourite things in Japan was the neon lighting with the contrast of the dark sky. It was absolutely incredible. We arrived at this incredible temple. The buildings were absolutely fantastic. This was one of my favourite places in Japan. I would highly recommend it if you ever go. We continued to explore different parts of Tokyo, wandering down each little side street and visiting big attractions. We woke up early to do a lap of the Imperial Palace. It was a 5-kilometer walk around the outside. Hungry from all that walking, we headed to an outer market to find some food. Next was the government building for these iconic views before a short walk for food. We ended the evening walking around the National Stadium, listening to the chants of a baseball game in the far distance.
Raining.
After 5 days in Tokyo, we were excited to get on the bullet train. We'd seen a lot about the bullet train and were very eager to get going on it. The next stop was Kyoto. We arrived in Kyoto in one piece before making our way to the hotel to quickly unpack and to head back out to explore our new area. We stumbled across this temple by accident. It's amazing to be in a city and then have this randomly appear when you turn around the corner. We continued to explore Kyoto, venturing down different little markets. After averaging 30,000 steps a day, Rachel decided to call it a day and head back to the hotel. I decided to walk back to the hotel along the river, flying solo. We took a 12-minute train outside Kyoto for our next stop to do a bicycle tour. We fueled up before our ride. Our first stop was the bamboo forest. It was absolutely amazing to see it in person. Our tour guide Yuki was amazing and he did a really good job of explaining everything to us.
That's so interesting.
Our next stop was this hill where it overlooked the whole of Kyoto and we were treated to some monkeys as well.
Makes it really easy to defend, but also the fact
Our tour guide, as I said, was Yuki. He was absolutely incredible and very knowledgeable about the local area. If you're ever in the area and fancy doing the bike tour, it's called Kyoto Bike Tours.
But yeah, once you wash your hands, touch your lips with your left hand twice. This will sanctify your hands from all sin and your lips from any lies you've scattered in recent memories. There we go.
We were very hungry from all our cycling, so we headed to a local restaurant to order some food. The food was amazing and served to us, and it was cooked on this grill. Over breakfast, we decided to visit the Kyoto Railway Museum. The museum was absolutely fantastic, and it had loads of different trains in and an old bullet train. We visited the Shogun's palace. It was really interesting to see where they used to live and how they used to live. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to film inside, but we could get shots around the outside. We took a short bullet train ride to Osaka where we walked from the station into the city. We visited the Osaka castle and took in the sights and the surrounding scenery. It was a short trip to Osaka, but we were hungry and we headed back to Kyoto where we found this restaurant where people were queuing up, and we decided to queue up anyway, and the food was absolutely incredible and we couldn't stop talking about it.
Join me as we walk to a river in Kyoto.
Yeah, river.
We were now experts in the Japanese transport system, and we headed back to Tokyo for our last 2 days in Japan before heading home. We stayed at this traditional inn for our last 2 days in Tokyo. We had a futon on the floor, which was really cool and surprisingly very comfortable. We tucked into our free snacks from the inn and we discussed what we should do with our last remaining 2 days. We wandered around our favourite bits before finding a small little ramen bar to tuck into some pork ramen. On our last day, we decided to visit the Natural History Museum before walking around the local park to explore different areas we hadn't seen before. We made an impromptu trip to Chinatown in Yokohama and explored different parts of Chinatown. It was really cool to see the different shrines and temples before heading to the Cup Noodle Museum. Big fans of katsu curry, we headed to this local chain to try out their food before heading for some dessert. We wandered around knowing that this would be our last night in Japan, so we thought we'd get one last look at all the different cool things before heading to sleep that night. Bye room. We made our way to the airport to catch our flight into Beijing to then return back to London. Japan is an amazing country and it was an epic trip. It's a place I really want to go back to explore more of, and hopefully we'll get to do so in the future. I would highly recommend it.